Why did Tian Yunzi's plan to devour Wang Lin ultimately collapse because of the ancient monster? At first, Wang Lin believed that by condensing 1,000,000 strands of slaughter qi, he would become invincible in battle. What he did not know was that all of this lay within Tian Yunzi's calculations. It was not until Wang Lin became the emissary chosen by the ancient monster that he gradually perceived Tian Yunzi's true intentions. During the Monster General Grand Competition, Wang Lin encountered the Ascendant Heavenly Tribulation. No matter how many divine abilities he unleashed, he was utterly unable to withstand the devastating bombardment of the tribulation. As a defiant cultivator, Wang Lin dared to face the Heavenly Tribulation head-on, and for this reason, the Heavenly Tao descended its most terrifying punishment, attempting to erase him completely. As expected, after Wang Lin barely endured the first wave of the Heavenly Tribulation, using the demonizing finger and the celestial slaughter art, the second wave grew far more terrifying. Its might was sufficient to annihilate the entire heavenly monster county, even alarming several ancient ancestors of the monster emperor. In this wave of tribulation, Wang Lin's physical body shattered, plunging him into a hopeless certain death situation. However, it was precisely Wang Lin's act of forcibly confronting the heavenly tribulation that caused the ancient monster to determine that he was the defiant cultivator it had been waiting for all along. One must understand that throughout the entire land of monster spirits, no one had ever been able to withstand the power of an ancient monster. Even powerful external cultivators could only barely accept a portion of that strength. Only Wang Lin, as a defiant cultivator, was more suitable than anyone else capable of perfectly unleashing the ancient monster's full power. Thus, the ancient monster proactively proposed a condition. It would grant Wang Lin the power to resist the heavenly tribulation, while Wang Lin in turn would assist ancient monster Bei Luo in devouring the remaining ancient monsters of the other 8 counties. Facing such a horrifying heavenly tribulation, Wang Lin knew that relying solely on his own strength would make it nearly impossible to escape unscathed. Therefore, he decisively accepted the ancient monster's conditions. Immediately afterward, a gigantic ancient monster phantom appeared behind Wang Lin, permeated with terrifying demonic power. Wang Lin let out a thunderous shout of "Annihilate the Tao," driving the ancient monster phantom straight toward the heavenly tribulation. The thunder within the tribulation began to roar wildly, even cleaving downward with a crimson radiance, attempting to erase the ancient monster phantom behind Wang Lin. The ancient monster showed no fear whatsoever, opening its massive mouth and swallowing the crimson radiance whole. In an instant, the ancient monster phantom collapsed and reformed repeatedly, cycling tens of thousands of times. Eventually, the crimson radiance was completely annihilated within its body, and the heavenly tribulation was thereby officially brought to an end. After Wang Lin successfully broke through to the Ascendant Realm, the ancient monster formally launched war against the Fire Monster County and appointed Wang Lin as its emissary. However, Wang Lin understood that, with his cultivation at the early Ascendant stage, completing the task assigned by the ancient monster would be extremely difficult. Thus, he returned to the soul-refining tribe, selecting over 10,000 clansmen to join the battlefield between the 2 counties. Upon each of these clansmen, Wang Lin left behind a strand of slaughter qi. Anyone they killed would have their life force transformed and absorbed into that slaughter qi. After several decades, Wang Lin used this method to condense 1,000,000 strands of slaughter qi. Although this was still insufficient to completely defeat the ancient monster of fire, Monster County, it was enough to break through the opponent's defensive formation. At that moment, by chanting the incantation taught by Bei Luo, Wang Lin could summon Bei Luo to Fire Monster County. Finally, by destroying the statue used to store the divine sense of the ancient monster of fire, Monster County, Wang Lin would help Bei Luo complete the devouring process entirely. Moreover, Bei Luo promised that during the fusion, he would bring Wang Lin's divine sense into the process, allowing Wang Lin to obtain the fortune of 2 ancient monster inheritances. The ancient monster race possessed a unique innate talent, the ability to create divine abilities independently. This talent could also be applied to others, but each person could only comprehend it once in their lifetime. Sure enough, when Wang Lin followed ancient monster Bei Luo's plan and successfully destroyed the statue of the Fire Monster County's ancient monster, his divine sense under Bei Luo's influence entered a mysterious and peculiar space. There, Wang Lin saw numerous illusory versions of himself, continuously executing various divine abilities. In truth, this scene was not unfamiliar to him, as it was nearly identical to what he had once seen within Tian Yunzi's divine sense. The difference was that Wang Lin's figures existed within an illusory realm, whereas the figures within Tian Yunzi's divine sense appeared indistinguishable from the true body. At first, Wang Lin speculated that this phenomenon belonged to the divine ability produced only after the first step of cultivation reached perfection, entering the realm of yin void and yang solid. He himself was able to experience this realm in advance only because of the ancient monster inheritance. However, during this process, Wang Lin's true body inexplicably merged with his slaughter-cultivating clone. In that instant, Wang Lin entered a state of illusory enlightenment, and his slaughter chi surged from 1 million to 10 million. Immediately afterward, those 10 million strands of slaughter chi condensed into a mysterious seal, which was directly imprinted upon Wang Lin's brow. This seal severed the connection between his primordial spirit and physical body, devouring everything completely. Fortunately, this was merely a future vision perceived within the ancient monster inheritance. As a result, Wang Lin determined that the celestial slaughter art contained a fatal flaw, and even Tian Yunzi's decision to accept him as a disciple had been entirely due to the life and death Tao intent. Although Wang Lin acknowledged the overwhelming power of the celestial slaughter art, he also understood that continuing to use it would inevitably lead him into eternal ruin. From that point onward, Wang Lin sealed the 1 million strands of slaughter chi into a puppet, avoiding waste while simultaneously gaining an extremely powerful subordinate. It must be said that ancient monster Beiluo was never a benevolent existence. Every time he extended his hand to Wang Lin, it was done with calculation purpose and cold self-interest. Yet even so, without Beiluo's intervention, Wang Lin would never have survived the Ascendant Heavenly Tribulation, nor would he have been able to peer through the layers of deception surrounding Tian Yunzi's grand scheme. In truth, Beiluo did not save Wang Lin out of kindness. He merely saw in him a vessel capable of defying heaven itself. And it was precisely this alignment of interests that allowed Wang Lin to seize a narrow path between destruction and rebirth, transforming certain death into a turning point of fate. Ironically, it was this very variable of the ancient monster that Tian Yunzi had failed to account for that became the fatal flaw in Tian Yunzi's otherwise flawless calculations. A man who once claimed to see through all destinies, who believed the flow of heaven's will lay fully within his grasp, had overlooked a single deviation, and that deviation was Wang Lin. From the moment Wang Lin survived the Ascendant Heavenly Tribulation and awakened to the truth behind his master's intentions, Tian Yunzi's control was irreversibly broken. Every subsequent scheme he laid upon Wang Lin unraveled one after another, collapsing like carefully stacked dominoes struck by an unseen hand. From that day onward, Wang Lin was no longer a chess piece moving along a predestined board. He had become a variable beyond calculation, a defiant existence that even the All-Seer could no longer bind, predict, or command.